Welcome, Chicago Bears fans, to Bear With Me Chicago. And today I have my partner in crime, John, and he and I are going to go over what's happened so far in free agent losses, free agent signings, the Bears draft. What do they need? How's the team really doing? I've seen some mock drafts and some mock assessments of how they're doing after free agency, and they've actually dropped down in the power rankings, which really don't mean anything. So this week we just want to kind of look at what's happened so far to the team, where the team stands, and free agency as well. So welcome, John.
Thanks.
So first, let's go over essentially what the Bears have added. So free agent additions, they added Kobe Bryant as a safety. He got a 3-year, $40 million deal. What do you think, John, on that one? Thumbs up? Thumbs
Yeah,
down?
that's probably the one I'm second most excited for. I think he was in the Super Bowl. He looked really good. His name stood out, and then didn't realize he was a free agent. So I was more than happy they got him, especially with the losses that we have at safety.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Also, they signed linebacker Devin Bush, who came over from Cleveland. They gave him a 3-year deal, $30 million. So they really wanted to be a long-term answer there in the linebacking core. And we'll talk a little bit later about losses. But what do you think about that one?
yeah, I'm the most excited for that one. His highlights are super exciting, and if he can do that, I mean, I think Dennis Allen really likes him. I would have to think. And then in terms of financially versus, I know we haven't got to losses, but versus Edmonds, he's a steal in terms of a bargain. Um, if he continues the way he's headed. So I think I'm the most excited for Devin Bush to see
Yeah.
how he does.
Yeah, me too. I think adding that speed, that seems to be one of the things they really wanted to do in the linebacking core, add a lot of speed. So he definitely answers that. I think he had well over 120 tackles last year for Cleveland as well.
Yeah,
So in Cleveland had a really good defense last year, and he was part of that. So
yeah.
yeah, that's a real positive.
He gets to the end zone when he gets an interception. He gets all the way down there.
Takes
So
it to the house.
yeah, he's quick,
Yeah.
which is exciting.
Yeah. They also added on defense the defensive tackle Neville Gallimore, coming over from the Colts. They signed him to a 2-year, $10 million deal. So they paid him a little bit of money.
Yeah.
He's been around for a few years. So what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think that was their first signing, if I remember the
Yeah.
day of on that Monday. Or I had never heard of him. Pretty much from our last video, all of our guesses for free agency did not come true.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I think overall, with this, it was just underwhelming to kind of start off, because usually, and even Ryan Poles mentioned making a splash, and I think, if I had to guess, he was thinking for a trade for Crosby, but I think it fell through. And then I don't know, just even the name Neville Gallimore just doesn't. I hadn't heard of him, and it just, I don't know. It says here that he had 38 tackles as a defensive tackle. I don't know, and then 3.5 sacks at Indy last year.
Yeah.
And he used to be on Dallas, so I'm not sure how old he is actually either.
I think he's in the 27 to 29 timeframe. They really made an effort to not sign anybody so far that's over 30 years old.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going young. They gave him a 2-year, $10 million deal. So some of these signings, you look at that and you go, well, they're just signing them for a camp body, so to speak. Help through practice and everything. But when you give him a 2-year deal at $10 million, it seems like they really like him to keep him around. So yeah,
I imagine Allen probably had a big part in all three of the last signings with Bush, Bryant, and Gallimore.
Yeah.
They probably asked him who he wanted. So
yeah. Next they signed a corner, Cam Lewis. He got a 2-year deal as well, and I don't have details on that. He has spent 7 seasons with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Who Buffalo's defense kind of fell off the wagon last year, but Lewis has some speed. He's been at Buffalo 7 years, and they liked him. So that's another one. I didn't know anything about Cam Lewis, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, I maybe have seen him play if I watched a Buffalo game, but I mean, we didn't have details on his contract. I forget what they gave him,
It was a
But
2-year deal though.
oh, okay, okay, yeah, I'm we'll see. I mean, I didn't think DB. I mean, we lost Nishan Wright, so
Hmm.
with and then Gardner Johnson too. So I
Yeah.
think they were just like, well, I mean, you got to trust at this point. You have to trust him,
And Dennis
and
Allen.
Dennis Allen's
Yeah.
probably picking guys. So
Yeah. Next, defensive end. So Contavious Street.
hmm
They signed him off the street
yeah,
to add some D-line depth. And in terms of what he brings, everything you read about him, nothing outstanding, but that might be more of a camp body signing. But
yeah,
you're giving an opportunity to somebody that's got some talent to make the team.
hmm yeah. It's giving the opportunity, and then um, battles during training camp for positions just to kind of see who performs. I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I saw some people were pretty excited about that one. I says he has 2 sacks. He only had 11 solo tackles, so he must. I don't know his age either, so maybe he's young.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I do like in terms of overall. Um, Poll said he was going longevity, and I think he has not done anything crazy. It, kind of a structured conservative approach
Yeah.
because I think he wants to build through the draft. So we were all, last episode throwing out names,
Yeah.
giant names we were going to get in free agency, and
Yeah.
we just kind of it just kind of fizzled out.
Hendrickson, Max Crosby.
Yeah, the
We were
center from
debating.
Baltimore.
So yeah, so Baltimore got Hendrickson. They sent Crosby back to the Raiders, and now the Raiders say, "Oh, we're keeping him." But if they are going to keep him, they're going to have to do a lot of contract restructuring there. So
Yeah,
that door may not still be closed, but
would be
we'll
cool.
see.
It would be cool.
Yeah, yeah. The next signing they had on the defensive edition is James Lynch, who came over from Tennessee. He only got a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've read about him, and he didn't sound outstanding.
Yeah.
But it could just be another camp body where you're giving guys a chance to compete, make the team.
Yeah, I think they're probably seeing if they must have specific things as they're scouting. Maybe they see a play or two that they're like, oh, we didn't do very well at that last year.
Yeah.
He did this well here. Can we build that up with our coaching? I mean, that's obviously everyone thinks that. It's ideal, but yeah, if Allen's behind everything, then I hope it actually comes to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what they added on defense. We were all looking, like we said, for that big free agent signing. We didn't get it. So right now they're saying, well, we're being wise, and it looks like a good draft on edges and D line.
Yeah.
Tackles. So maybe that's where they're going.
We did just add Jack Sanborn. We signed him. I know he's older. He was with us last. I just really liked him when he was with the Bears.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a time gone by, but in terms of consistency with tackling, felt like he never missed a tackle, and he plays really, really hard. And he's just fun to root for.
Yeah, he's tremendous in run support. He doesn't meet their stated we want to get faster though, which is a little surprising, but high motor guy, high character guy, been here before, they know him well. So yeah, I don't look at that signing as a bad thing. I mean, even if all he does is play special teams for you, he's like you said, solid tackler.
Yeah. Run defense could use some help. So.
Yeah. Offensive additions. So they signed wide receiver, kick returner Khalif Raymond on a 1-year contract from Detroit. To me, I like him better than the guy they had last year taking that role. To be honest with you,
Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, Devin Duvernay. Who had a good year.
Yeah, but he won us one game. There's one game where he
did
hit 50 yards and we won. So
yeah, and he didn't fumble the ball.
That is true.
We
he was not
Bayless with that in years
not
past.
Bayless Jones Jr.
Not Bayless Jones Jr. Yeah, that boy. Every time he caught the ball or tried to catch it, we were all just holding our breath. Yeah. So Khalif's coming over from Detroit. Obviously, Ben Johnson knows him well on offense and wanted him maybe to be that fourth wide receiver in a pinch, fifth wide receiver, or you need somebody that can return kicks and punts. So looks like a really good addition.
Yeah, if Johnson likes him, then I like him. So
Also, on the offensive side, another free agent, they added offensive tackle Jedrick Willis. I'm
Mm,
sorry, Wills Jr. Now there's a interesting story there. So first round draft pick,
mm,
got injured, had to have a major realignment surgery on his knee. It wasn't like he tore a bunch of ligaments.
yeah,
Sat out the whole year, and they're signing him, giving him a chance. If he's regained, some of the skill that he had a couple years ago, that could turn out to be an amazing signing.
yeah. I did not hear about this.
Yeah,
I'm reading about it right now. That's
yeah,
okay. So he didn't. Yeah. If he's a former first round pick, there has to be potential there.
yep.
Huh. Do you know what the specifics of the contract
I
were?
don't know the specifics of the contract. It might be a veteran minimum, or they just
Okay.
gave him a little bit more to sign him.
Okay.
But it looks like a low risk, high reward signing there by
Yeah.
Poles. So that could end up being a great signing.
Mhm.
So the next signing, and really this is via trade. So they trade a fifth round draft pick to New England for
Mm.
Garrett Bradbury to replace the center who retired.
Drew Dahlman.
Drew
Yep.
Dahlman.
Yeah.
Drew, and we wish him well. As we talked about in the last podcast, we wish him well, but we're kind of hoping that Garrett can snap the ball to Caleb most
Yeah.
of the time.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean this is a big deal, right? Because if Garrett can't pass block, can't do the basics that Dahlman did last year, that could turn out to be a big weakness in the offensive line. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about draft later, but boy, if they don't draft a center, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. They can't. We can't let that go by like we did before Drew Dahlman, which was brutal.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of bad centers since, I don't know, white hair, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been. A lot of Bears fans would say that you go back even longer than that to get a really, really good center.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dahlman last year, he had a good year. I mean, we joke about his snapping the ball over the head and everything, but he played every game.
Mm-hmm.
So getting offensive linemen, and most of their offensive line played most of the games last year. So that's one of the things that you can only pray for this year. So anyway, hopefully the Bradbury signing will turn out to be a good one by Poles.
Mm-hmm.
Just some re-signings, like players they retained. So on defense, they retained Jalen Jones, safety. I don't have any details on his contract, but they re-signed him.
Mm-hmm.
So they know him. They think he's worth re-signing. A lot of these guys, even if they're not going to start, they've got to be good special teams players, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably part of their intent there. Make sure you get more people in that safety room. We can talk about it later, but I think safety is another area. If they don't address it in the draft, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
So
maybe in the first round.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensive end linebacker Daniel Hardy. So they signed him on a 2-year deal, $6 million. He's just played great for them on special teams at a minimum. Every once in a while, it seems like the preseason he's always the sack leader,
the preseason king. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and I don't know, he's played well for them. So that to me, you're rewarding somebody, and you're also pretty confident he's going to show up. They re-signed another safety, Elijah Hicks, to a 1-year deal, and we saw him. Seems like every season since he's been on the team, at some point he ends up starting because guys get hurt.
Yeah.
Brisker gets a concussion, or the other guy, has a tissue injury, and Hicks ends up playing for him. So they seem to have confidence in him. But when you see him out there, you're concerned, especially in coverage.
Yeah. I think he's a special teams guy, more than a legit safety. But yeah.
They also re-signed linebacker DeMarco Jackson to a 2-year guarantee of $7.5 million up to $10.5 million, depending on how much you play. So what do you think of DeMarco Jackson?
I'm excited for that one. I think that's the big reason they could let Edmonds go was, I mean, I remember he got a game ball for one of them just for really playing outstanding.
Yeah, like 14 tackles that game.
Yeah, it was the game where they didn't have Edmonds or Edwards, and we were like, oh my gosh, all of our linebackers were out, and then he stepped up, and I think we won. So yeah, and then Johnson talked about him in the post game locker room and gave him a game ball, I believe. So that was really, he definitely earned it. And
so, like, moving to offense re-signings, first one was offensive tackle Braxton Jones. He got a 1-year deal, from what I read. could be worth up to 10 million, depending on how much he plays. So what do you think about re-signing Braxton, who was hurt most of last year?
Yeah, I think it's because Strapillo is injured and we just are desperate.
Yeah.
um, uh, yeah, I guess I am hopeful for the offensive line coach to be able to get something. I mean, they clearly weren't confident in him last year,
Yeah.
so that doesn't really bode well. But in terms of has some potential, so
Yeah.
he's played a few good games when we had Fields, and
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
If he ends up being our offensive tackle, he must have improved his lower body strength because he was coming off an injury last year and then
Yeah,
got re-injured. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, especially it seems like Ben Johnson seems to know how to scheme protections to help a guy.
yeah, yeah.
Or worst case scenario, they put Tooney back out there,
Mhm.
which they
Yeah,
did in the playoffs, and he wasn't great, but he was okay. But I know they don't want to do that.
yeah.
They also this one's a little debatable for me. So they re-signed Case Keenum
Mhm.
to a 2-year deal, $5.5 million guaranteed. The max it could be is $8 million. So if he ends up having to play,
Mhm.
so that one they must love him.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
a
seems like a assistant coach.
lot of money though, a lot of money
Yeah,
for an assistant coach. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't know how much he influenced Caleb last year,
yeah,
but I don't think he taught him how to be that clutch.
yeah. Of course, I mean Caleb may have said, "Hey, I want him back no matter what," too. And
True.
they may be catering to Caleb. I don't know that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like there was talk early on, oh, he'll probably retire, or he may retire.
Mm. Yeah.
But he probably thinks, hey, sit on the bench for $5.5 million. I don't need to retire. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they're trying to shop Bajent
hmm
around and they just wanted to make sure they have someone familiar. I don't know.
It seems like they're definitely shopping Bajent. The way
Mhm.
they talked about him, like, oh, he's going to start somewhere. He's
Yeah.
better. He's one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
They're really building him up, but it also sounds like they want a second round pick for him, and nobody was going to bite on that.
I think they're
Um,
hoping for preseason
yeah,
just to kind of showcase him, is what I would imagine
yeah,
in terms of like trying to trade him.
yeah. I think most fans believe if you lose Caleb, your season's over anyway. You're
Mhm.
almost better to
Yeah, try to get a
play for
higher draft
next
pick.
year. But and Bajan, I think he was 2-2 as a starter.
Mm.
He always looks amazing in the preseason, right?
Yeah,
But he also doesn't seem to throw the ball with a lot of zip over 25 yards. And
yeah,
in that 30-yard in range, he's really accurate, delivers the ball in space,
hmm,
but he does it based on timing, not necessarily on act or on
like power.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So if Bajan, I like Bajan. I mean, I root for the kid, but
yeah,
if he's going to be our quarterback, let's say Caleb gets hurt in game whatever early in the season, God forbid.
yeah,
Um, I don't know that I'd be like thrilled to see Bajan the rest of the year, but
yeah,
it could surprise you. I mean,
yeah,
I do agree that I've seen quarterbacks play for other teams that I thought Bajan's better than him.
yeah.
So I don't think Ben Johnson's
Uh-huh.
lying.
Yeah. No, I really, I don't know. It's hard. He's inconsistent, but he's extremely young.
Yeah,
So
true.
I don't know. I just when he looks good, he looks great. So maybe we're trying to sell him to other teams on the
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah. I
trying to
think
get
he's worth first
yeah,
round pick
yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Okay, so the next guy on offense that he just recently re-signed into a 1-year deal was Jordan McFadden, who
Uh-huh.
played for them last year in the last playoff game and played well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he stepped in there when they moved Tooney to tackle. They
Oh,
put
okay.
McFadden at
Oh,
guard,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he held up pretty well.
yeah. In the
So
Rams game,
yeah,
yeah, that was impressive for
yeah.
just coming in there off or coming off the bench.
Yeah. Well, that also speaks to, like you said, our offensive line coach,
Yeah,
who I can't remember his name, but
yeah. I can't either. I know the guy
begins
who
with a
wasn't
G.
good
Yeah.
before.
Anyway, yeah, this guy, Gradish something. Anyway,
Yeah.
he did an amazing job last year. Kudos to him. And speaking of that, one of his primary students was Theo Benedette, who
Hmm.
they re-signed to a 1-year, $1 million contract. So
Yeah.
that seemed like a pretty good value to the Bears because he played there for a while.
Hmm.
He ended up subbing at multiple lines. So I mean, he's your swing tackle essentially, I think,
Yeah. For
unless they draft somebody.
Yeah, for a non-drafted free agent, I mean, he's turned out great. Um, he's a steal. Uh, Dan Roshar is the
That's it.
offensive line coach.
Yeah, that's it.
Had to Google it real quick.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
to
you.
technology.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Google. All right, so let's go over the losses. So they
Mhm.
lost. We've talked about some of this already. They lost Tremaine Edmonds, and they ended up saving some cap space. I think is what it came down to. And
Yeah.
Tremaine had a good year for them last year.
Yeah.
But the year before that, not so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was, in my mind, I'd give him a thumbs up on that, letting him go, I think.
It's kind of a halfway thumbs because
Okay.
Poles gave it to him.
True. Okay.
So it was kind of an admitting of I signed you to too much money
Yeah.
and we got to let you go.
Yeah, true.
But I'm glad he was humble enough to admit his mistake.
Yeah, I guess on that signing, what would you give him on an A to F scale?
Yeah. I mean, probably a C.
Yeah.
Just because it was maybe a C plus even. There were some games it was good. And then he had some interceptions that were awesome.
Yeah, last year it was his best year. And they got within a game or so of potentially getting to the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I'm glad they let him. I thought it was
I think it was a great move. Yeah.
What about letting Brisker go? Now here's somebody you drafted out of Penn State. He had concussion issues. They decided not to re-sign him, but I saw he only re-signed for maybe $7 million. He didn't get a big contract. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I personally, his personality on the field is annoying to me personally.
Okay.
So I don't like the bird wave thing he does after every play when he's not even remotely involved. And then I think it was he did have some good plays. I don't remember interceptions, if ever. I know he was more of a run tackle or a run safety, but it just seems like I don't know. In terms of locker room development, I mean, he was not that this is about the drama, but he was, talking really negatively about Eberflus, and granted, most people were, but if you're in the locker room and you're just online ripping your head coach, it just seems unprofessional.
Yeah.
So I'm as far as his playing ability, he was fine, but I'm excited. I think it was good. It's hard to say that you couldn't have gotten him on the deal that someone else got him for.
Yeah.
But that also makes me think that the front office was like, maybe this guy's not worth whatever he.
Well, I think to me it's the injury risk, right? He's just had so many concussions, right? I mean, and those other
for weeks.
Those other things are definitely not, makes it attractive as well. So to me, number one is injuries. Number two, the other stuff you talked about, I agree with. Well, the next one is a more challenging one to me, and that's Kevin Byard. Led the league or led safeties and interceptions last year, all pro. He's 33 years old though, right? So they decided no, and then I think he only got a 1-year deal as well. So that was another one that
was tough. I imagine they're drafting the safety, if I had to guess. That's probably what they're thinking. If you get Bryant across from any other safety that they like, I think they're like, okay, we're happy with that. And then good old reliable Hicks will be there. In case anybody gets in.
Or you could probably sign Gardner Johnson off the street again. But Gardner Johnson, the first couple of games with him, he talked about it in a second, but he was just amazing. I'm like, man, how'd they get this guy? And then all of a sudden they started isolating him in coverage on their wide receiver, and he looked like he was running around with a bowling ball in his pocket. And I was like, I understand.
Yeah, that made a lot more sense.
All right, so he covered Gardner Johnson. I kind of skipped around here a little bit. So this is the probably the biggest offseason let go, right, is DJ Moore. So they traded him and ended up getting a second-round draft pick for him. What do you think of that move by Poles? A to F on that
one. And well, with the money included, I would say it's an A. You have to do it. And then, second-round draft pick's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we have the wide receiver talent with Burden and DJ Moore. I think I said this last podcast, but when DJ Moore or when Adunze and Burden are both out there, Moore was just kind of he had like one really good play a game,
Yeah.
or he didn't run a route and something goes wrong at the end of the
Yeah.
playoff game. But I think in terms of getting a second round pick, that was a great move.
That's another one of Poles signed a really bad contract, and then he was able to work out of it.
Making his own fixing his own mistakes. So I think it evens out because it works. So I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, one thing I will say for Poles too, like he trades guys usually to a better situation. You know, like he traded it's made trades where he sends guys to a good place. So
With
you know,
Fields, like
so Moore's going to Buffalo. He's going to be the number one receiver there, worse number two if they draft somebody or whatever. He's going to get a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And then Fields is the same way. They traded him to the Steelers, and he ended up getting a huge money deal later from the Jets out of that.
Yeah.
So I think Poles really wants to treat the guy as right, which I respect that. You know, I think other teams as well are free agents. When they see that, they're probably going to be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind going to the Bears. They treat people right, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good reputation to have.
And Andrew Billings. So they lost Billings. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. Man, Billings had some frustrating games last year, so I was happy to see him go. He's a fan favorite, I think. He's a big man.
I think he was Walter Payton Man of the Year, maybe candidate.
Oh, really?
Or he won the off the field award. I thought it might have been the Walter Payton nominee, but I could be wrong on that.
I think DJ Moore was the Walter Payton.
Okay.
DJ Moore was the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Okay, I may have that wrong. I read somewhere that Billings won some similar type award, so maybe not as good as Walter Payton, but he's good. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah,
which in the whole scheme of life matters a lot more. But anyway, so yeah, and I think somebody picked him up and signed him already. I didn't see. I don't remember who it was offhand. So that's good. Good for him. Next one, this is a little bit of a controversial one, is Dominique Robinson. He's been like the defensive edge guy that was gonna. They were developing for the last 4 years.
He's been developing for a long time, and now he's developing somewhere else.
He got signed too.
Yeah, it has I have a quick list here of people who got signed by other teams. Well, one is we didn't talk about Nahshon Wright. That's good. Probably
I actually missed him in my list here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's actually probably the biggest talking point.
Yeah,
I know David last episode said we wanted to get rid of him, and we did. I think that was. I have no problem with that. And when he started getting isolated in coverage, or really just had to do any sort of like speed, he was behind wide receivers. So
he had a great year. Ended up making a little bit of money. But yeah, I agree with you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it has a list here of who got signed from other teams. It has Billings, Duvernay, Jonathan Owens at safety.
Yeah.
So I guess he is with the Colts now.
Okay. 1 year deal with the Colts. I remember that signing.
And then Zacchaeus is with somebody else.
Yeah, Zacchaeus went back to Washington, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He had success there. So.
And honestly, Zacchaeus had a few flash plays, but boy, you really didn't want to see the ball thrown to him because he dropped passes.
It has Atlanta here. He went back.
He went to Atlanta. Okay.
He was with the
Washington
before us.
Yeah. So they lost Zacchaeus, they lost Duvernay. Travis Homer, the running back. According to this, they lost him as well.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see who he went to.
I'm not sure.
Scott Daly's a long snapper. Hopefully we're okay with our new one. And then Durham Smythe, tight end, got signed, I think, by the Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Does that show him in there?
No.
Anyway, they really like Smythe, and he seemed pretty dependable when he was in there. They also lost Amen Agbanbigagi. They released him.
Oh, okay.
So
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he was pretty young, but I don't know if he ever really showed much. So
yeah. So John, I guess what did you think the Bears' real free agent strategy was this year? They were just talking about Crosby and all these other guys, but it was too expensive, or what did you think? Did they really not want those guys? Did they want them and then they switched their strategy? What did you?
Yeah, I think they were I think I used the word conservative earlier. So I think they were being conservative, and Poles is thinking longevity and didn't want to possibly put everything, I guess, put all his chips in on this free agency class for whatever reason. And I think, to his credit, he has done big signings previously, and then he had to either let him go or trade him.
True.
So
Yeah.
I think he's more, because of how good our draft was last year, you have to think they're just being cautious with free agency, and then they're hoping for a Johnson and Allen influenced draft.
Yeah.
Is what I think Poles is thinking.
Yeah, if they have a draft like they had last year, but on the defensive side of the ball, that would be amazing.
Awesome.
Even though, I mean, it's unlikely they're going to get more turnovers, but one of the frustrating things last year is just seeing them not being able to stop the run and not being able to get off the field on third down, as well.
Yeah, you can't get to the quarterback.
So would you say that they're better overall after free agency, the same, worse?
That's a tough one. I would say our defense, that's a tough one. We lost a lot, but I think we lost guys that I'm not too sad about losing. So I think with Bryant and Devin Bush, those two make me think that we're in a better position if the obvious needs get met in the draft.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more optimistic for our defense because I don't know if we get worse.
Yeah, well, we were like 30th in the league last year, I think, in some points or yards or something. Basically, we were bad.
Yeah, they didn't pass the eye test.
No,
when you're watching the games.
Yeah, and part of the fourth quarter Iceman, got your shirt on.
Yeah,
Iceman Caleb comeback thing is because our defense could never hold a lead.
Yeah. Yep.
So, or they gave up the lead too quickly. So, hopefully, I'm just hoping they can make some good defensive picks here.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. What do you think the biggest loss was? So, we talked about DJ Moore, we talked about Byard. What do you think the biggest loss were? And Drew Dahlman as well. Biggest loss.
I know we have given Dahlman some flack, but I think Dahlman's probably the biggest loss in terms of just how unfortunate it is for the team.
Yeah.
Because they thought like, oh, we have that taken care of, and now it's not. Yeah. So Moore we can replace, I think, Moore. Yeah. Even though I like him, but we can replace him, and then Byard, I think we have safety. I like Bryant, and then I think they'll draft somebody if I had to guess. So Dahlman's my answer. What do you think?
Yeah, probably Dahlman. I think one of the things I had heard they talked about is, he being a veteran, he could read the defenses and do something that helped Caleb out. Mm-hmm. So Caleb had time to focus on, the offense and on their offense is complicated, right? I mean,
yeah.
So Caleb had a lot to learn in year one. And Dahlman took the load off of him in terms of reading, okay, where's the Mike linebacker at? Are they in a, 2 deep or 4 deep, or are they in 8 in a box? He's reading all that stuff, picking out the blitzer, all those kind of things, right? And now, hopefully the center they signed is going to be able to do those same things. He is a veteran.
Yeah.
His numbers last year weren't great, but I'm hoping that a lot of that has to do with the fact that New England didn't really have much of a wide receiving core. I mean, I think they had Stephon Diggs. That was about it, and he's getting old. So that makes it harder on a center there, I think, in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. But Drake May is not mobile.
He is not.
He is the center is really huge for that.
Yeah. But let's hope he can at least fill that role.
Yeah.
So I guess which edition do you think has got the best chance to outperform expectations?
Outperform.
So we got Kobe Bryant, Devin Bush, Gallimore.
Yeah. Well, my expectations for Gallimore is not very high. So him outperforming, I don't really know much about him.
Yeah.
And not to give him unneeded critique, but I would say Sanborn has the biggest potential that if he actually is coached well and used well, I think he shows high upside. Were you asking just defense or offense too?
Either way.
Well, I would say,
Who could overperform? I mean, I'll give you mine.
yeah,
Jedrick
that's what I
Wills
was gonna say.
Jr.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if he is just returning to form from 2 years ago before this injury, I mean, that could just be such a huge signing.
yeah. You could essentially solve the Trapillo loss with just him.
I
It
think
would be awesome.
I think their first pick, I would say it's 50-50 they trade back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Poles likes to do that. Usually they do that in the second round. They don't
Huh.
usually do that with their first pick. Usually the
Yeah.
second round, they'll like get a third and a fourth and move back 10,
Yeah.
I like that strategy because you get more bodies and you just don't know which guys are going to really step up.
Uh-huh.
So that'll be interesting to me if they trade that first pick. That'll tell me a lot, right? It'll say,
Yeah.
you know what? We want more defensive linemen. We want a center. There's things we want to be able to do. Maybe a linebacker too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing we didn't talk about a lot, but the Hippolyte's fourth round pick last year, the fact that he didn't make it on the field very much and then he got hurt, maybe an off season lights a fire under him, in terms of his training. And because the reason they got him is they said they wanted speed, and then he never played.
Yeah.
He never even dressed a lot.
Yeah.
So it'll be a critical year for him. And then it's going to be interesting to me in terms of, let's say their first pick, they take a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
That'll say a lot too about their confidence in the guys they have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that first pick's going to be really, really an interesting pick. Everybody's like saying a safety. There's like two guys that are safeties. I think an Oregon kid, and then there's another one from a smaller school, Toledo. I'm trying to remember that school now, but
we're gonna do that next episode.
Yeah, maybe the next episode we'll talk about that. But yeah, kind of hoping they don't draft a safety first. To be honest with you, I'd really like to see an edge rusher. I just they were so bad in sacks last year. I think they were like 32 or 35 sacks for the season. They were like one of the last three teams in the league. I mean, with no pass rush.
All these other signings are not going to mean very much.
Yeah. I mean, that is such a brutal thing where the quarterback's just sitting back there. Nobody can get to him. You remember the Packers game where Jordan Love, they never did get to him. He finally just threw a bad pass, right?
Yeah.
He finally thought, well, I can't stand back here for 10 minutes. He'd probably been back there for what seemed like, a minute.
Yeah.
And without edge rush, you're in trouble. And that's where Poles is really he's failed so far. I think that's kind of why I wanted him to take Crosby, because it's like, okay, we know Crosby can rush, or Hendrickson. We know you're going to get 10 sacks out of those guys. They've taken the less expensive route because it's a deep draft. But there's not a lot of rookies that all of a sudden put up 10 sacks or more. That's a rarity,
True. Yeah.
So
could happen. It could if Allen likes certain guys and coaches them. Allen is a really good defensive coach.
He is. So
he's made really good defensive linemen. So I'm trusting him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with the draft, that's pretty much what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Is rushing, and I don't know how much offensive line they're gonna go for. But
yeah, the other shock signing could be what Ben Johnson did last year, where he says, we're going to draft offense.
Yeah.
Which he saw Burden there.
Yeah.
And he said, we're taking him.
Yeah.
So
good call.
There's a lot of I've seen a lot of the different digital media regarding the Bears were like, will Ben Johnson say, hey, we're taking the best offensive guy on the board, like a running back.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's an amazing running back still out there, would they take a running back? To me, you got to load up on D. I don't know, man. The guy, all you can do, like with last year when they took Loveland, and we're all like, oh, that's the wrong tight end, and then the playoffs were like, oh, that's the right.
Yeah. Yep. Ultimately, we're just speculating.
Yeah.
But Loveland has been great.
Yeah.
We can obviously get more in depth on the draft and stuff, but do we have other questions?
Yeah, no, I guess just to finish it up. So what would you give them so far in their off season? Letter grade.
Uh, Man, I would say in terms of not making mistakes, I mean, unless you count letting people walk, which I don't really count that as a mistake, especially because it's not like they signed big deals.
Yeah.
No one else is looking at them and thinking they're long-term answers.
Right.
So in terms of playing it safe, I mean, Drew Dahlman wasn't their fault. I would say, I mean, if they would have gotten to Crosby, I would have given them a higher grade, so maybe a B, because I got excited for Crosby happening, and everyone convinced me of it, and it didn't happen. But they haven't made mistakes, I will say. So I'll give them a B.
And I think the other thing, just a second on the Crosby thing, is the trading deadline is still not passed, right?
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden the Raiders once again are terrible, Crosby's going to want out even more.
Yeah.
And what I hear now is that they're holding out for 2 first-round draft picks. I'll be shocked if they get that, especially after the reason that Baltimore failed them was over injury risk, right?
Yeah.
So everybody else is going to look at that as well. But that could be you play those first 4 games, and the trade deadline comes along, and the Bears. Let's say the Bears start out 3-1.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, let's trade. I'm not shutting the door on that, because I really like Crosby. He's just got an unending motor.
Yeah.
I
He
think
went crazy against us last year.
And you know what? When you sign him and give up first-round draft picks, there's a little bit of shell game with the money there, because you would normally owe those first-round draft picks a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you ended up paying maybe 15, 20 million more potentially, but you're giving draft picks that you would have had to pay. So it may not be as bad as it looks. But anyway, that's when we get to the draft, and we'll do a pre-draft as we get closer. So I want to thank you all for joining our podcast today. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bear with me, Chicago. We'll continue to drop podcasts more frequently as we get into near the draft, after the draft, and training camp and so forth. And we really appreciate you joining us today. And go Bears.
All right, go Bears.
Bear with me, Chicago.